Hello, this is Mati again. Today we'll look at Indus Valley Tamil scripts, video lesson number 4. As I told you earlier, if you need more details, you can always go to my Facebook page where a lot of details are posted. Okay, so we're going to look at lesson number 4. Before we come to lesson number 4, let me give a list of books that may be useful if you are interested in working in this field. Right, so let's look at some of the books that are very useful. Right. So the most important book that you need is this one. It's a very classic book by John Marshall. Right. It is a 3-volume book. It has got a lot of details about the archaeology, and there are a large number of seals also. Not very large, about 400 seals are listed here. You also have the photograph of the seals. That's very important, right? So this is a very classic book that will be very useful. Probably the second book you need is this one by Walter Fairservice. Okay, in fact this is the book that got me into this Indus Valley decipherment, and in fact Walter Fairservice is a very senior archaeologist, and he has got many of the seals, he has guessed many of the seals correctly, although he didn't realize that the whole thing is Tamil. For example, on symbol, Kavidi symbol, Ur symbol, etc. he had guessed correctly, but somehow he didn't realize that the language is exactly Tamil. So this is a very good book to have, and you can see this one, various useful information here. There's another book by R. Madhivanan. It says Indus script Dravidian. If you want to decipher many seals, you need a large number of seals. And your John Marshall's book has only 300-400 seals. That may not be enough. This book has a good collection of about 2000 seals. So this is very useful. Although his attempt to decipher Indus Valley script may not be correct, this book is quite useful in the sense it has got a huge collection of these seals. There are many other books. If you want to learn more about the history of Indus Valley civilization, this is a classic book by Alchin and Alchin. It tells you the context in which Indus Valley civilization stands with respect to other culture, etc. It's a very good book to read about the history of Indus Valley. And there are many other books. This is also a good book by S.K. Parpala. Says Deciphering Indus script, although I don't believe much in this decipherment. It's a very good book. It gives a thorough history or background history of where Indus Valley culture stands with respect to other cultures in the Middle East and other Egypt, etc. Right, so this is a good book to have. And there are many other books. In fact, you can find another good book by Poshal in Google Books. I think sample copy or part of the book is available in Google Books. That is also very useful. So this is a very good book, John Marshall's book. And Fairservice book is the one which got me into this this Indus Valley decipherment. In fact, he laid the groundwork for my my decipherment. Okay, although I didn't realize that it's all just Tamil. Okay. Again, Madhivanan's book is very good in the sense it has a huge collection of seals, and if you want to decipher, you need to have a large sample. But unfortunately, in Indus Valley, there are only about 2000 seals, and many of them repeat. So you might have only about 1000 seals, 1000 independent seals. That's the big problem. You don't have enough seals to accurately build a model to find the phonetic sounds of various symbols. So that's why this problem may never be solved accurately because the sample size is very small. You may not be able to guess all the symbols easily. In some cases it's very easy to guess, but some cases it's very difficult. Okay, I'll discuss those issues a bit later. Then, if you want to learn more about the history of Indus Valley civilization, Alchin and Alchin's book is a classic book. Parpola's book is also useful with respect to the history of Indus Valley, etc. And there are other books also. There are a large number of books. Okay. In fact, there are a large number of books. There are some 20-30 attempts on deciphering Indus Valley script. But most of them I don't believe, and the only book that was very useful for me is the one by Walter Fairservice. In fact, he found the seeds that are required to decipher Indus Valley scripts correctly. For example, he has figured out symbols like Ant, Kavidi, and Kalai, Ur, etc. Okay, and we'll discuss those obvious seals or signs later. I think I already posted them in lesson number 9 or something like that. We'll discuss those issues later. Let us see what are all the issues or problems involved in deciphering Indus Valley script. Of course, this is a very difficult problem, and it takes a long time to figure out the phonetic sounds of various signs, and it is done by trial and error. It's a very laborious process. Okay. The most difficult issue here is it's a very small data size. There are only about 2000 or so seals, and out of which you probably have only about 1000 or so independent seals, because many of these are repeating. For example, Mukkannan seal etc. repeats 4 or 5 times. So you'll probably find only about 1000 independent seals. So some of the signs may appear only a few times, and it's difficult to figure out what the correct phonetic model for such signs. In some cases, signs appear many times, and you may be able to figure out. Okay, so this is the greatest difficulty you'll find in solving this problem. The second problem is what's called pronunciation grammar, as I told you. Grammar. Okay. Although you can figure out the phonetic value of a particular sign, we may not know the correct pronunciation grammar, and there could be a lot of variations in that, and we may not be able to accurately guess how exactly the seal was. Right, I've already pointed these issues in many of the previous lessons. For example, in one example, I could have read the seal as Muvile Velan or just Mulavan, etc. Okay, so that is a very difficult issue. We may never be able to guess some of the seals correctly. In some cases, you can translate them very accurately. Right. I'll give you some example. Like, for example, you saw Uruvathilla Gambadi, Inda Patil Kurai. Those are very accurate translation, and the pronunciation grammar can be kind of guessed easily in such cases. Right. There are many other problems. The problem is because the data size is very small. Many signs are not understood. Okay, especially if the sign appears only few times, we will not be able to figure out a correct model or a correct phonetic sound for that particular sign. This is also a big issue. In fact, I think I've already given a mini dictionary. Wait a minute here. Let me see. Okay, I've given a mini dictionary of about 100 signs or so in my Facebook page. You can see that some have high confidence levels because they appear many times. You'll be able to you'll have more confidence level for these seals. Some are less frequently appearing and we may not be able to guess. Those are given lower confidence level, and you can see that many of them we are not very sure. So that is another problem here. Many of the signs are not properly understood at this stage, and we may never be able to figure out the answers because the data size is very small. There are only about 1,000 or so independent seals. That's not enough sample. Whereas in other culture like Egypt, you have vast amount of written material. You should be able to build a accurate model. Whereas in Indus Valley, unfortunately, it has been destroyed or lost, and you have very fewer number of seals. Okay, that's another major problem. Okay, in some cases people have not properly transliterated it, okay, or right. So while I should say maybe wrong transcription, okay, not transliteration, wrong transcription, especially if you don't have the photograph of the seal. Sometimes they have been wrongly written down or transcribed, so that's another problem. I'll point out some examples where it's wrongly written down in the list given. Okay, of course we don't have I don't have the photograph for all the 2,000 seals or all the 1,000 seals, so because of wrong transcription I could have gone wrong in guessing the answer for any of the signs. Okay, other difficulty is we are looking at a long time. Okay, the language could have evolved or changed over time. So we are looking at approximately something like 3,500 BC to 2,800 BC, where it was wiped out by the Aryans. All right, so it's a fairly long time. Okay, the language could have changed a little bit, although it probably has not changed that much. There could have been some changes. Because of that, we may not understand all the signs accurately. Some of the sign phonetic values might have changed over time. Other difficulties you might come across is there could be other languages mixed also. Next, we are not sure. For example, if you look at later day India, there are a lot of languages coexisted, like Pali, Prakrit, Tamil. Even if you look at 1,000 years back, Tamil kind of became Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, etc. So it could have evolved into other languages, and because of that, there may be problems in understanding some of the seals. Of course, there is a lot of tampering also is going on and politics. Okay, tampering and politics. In fact, some of the copper plates, etc., are fake. You have to be very careful in deciphering. For example, there is a leather parchment also, which is probably a fake. There are even published material on copper plates which are definitely fake. And some cases people attempt to fake it because in fact there's a lot of politics involved here. Some people are trying to portray or cover up the Tamil culture, which probably most likely belong to the Dalits and lower caste. So there's a lot of political issues involved here. In fact, only after studying such dirty politics, I got into this. Most likely, all this culture belong to the outcast people or lower caste people like Dalits, and there is a clear attempt to downplay their culture, downplay their Tamil culture. In fact, a lot of these studies, social political studies, were conducted in places like ITM, where the Dalits are kind of suppressed. In fact, that's what got me into this Indus Valley script. Now let's look at the current status of decipherment or how much we have understood. Okay, as I told you, there are a lot of difficulties, issues in solving this problem. So the current status is something like this. As I told you, there are about only 2000 seals, out of which there are only about 1000 or so independent seals. So data set is very much limited. We can probably accurately understand something like 10 or 20%. A few hundred of them can be accurately understood. That is, even the pronunciation grammar is kind of accurately guessed. Another 50% we can probably approximately understand. Okay, this mainly because we don't understand many of the seals that accurately. In spite of that, we may be able to guess what the seal means. There is another 10 or 20% where it's very difficult to understand. I pointed out various issues like long transcription, because our model may not be that accurate, etc. There are difficulties also. I'll give some examples later. Another few hundred of them are kind of very difficult. I'll probably give a list later. Okay, so currently we can understand many hundreds of them accurately. Another 50% we can understand the written material approximately. There are another 10 or 20% cases where it is very difficult to figure out what the seal means. Okay, so that's the current status. At various issues like the books that may be useful for studying Indus Valley scripts, and what kind of issues are involved in trying to decipher this very difficult problem. And also I gave the status of current decipherment work. Right. So we have some more time left. So let's look at a few more examples before we wind up this lesson. Maybe let's see this. Maybe let's look at lesson number 4. There are very good examples here. I'll discuss this. For example, let's see what this is. It means Parakati. Parakati means the one who shows a moon. Para means crescent moon. Right. So let's look at this example. Okay. So let's see. As I told you, let's say this is the symbol for Ur. All right, town or Ur. In fact, Walter Fairservice has easily guessed that this particular seal must be Ur. Okay, so from this we should be able to guess another related seal, which looks like this, which means Pattu or Patti. Okay, Ur means town, Pattu or Patti means settlement. A small settlement or village is called Pattu or Patti. So you can see that this particular seal is related to some kind of settlement. So the first one is Ur, second one is Pattu or Patti. In fact, sometimes it is written slightly like this, without this top notch marked. This also often reads as Pa or Pattu. In fact, your decimal Pattu or 10 comes from this particular symbol. You know that 0 here, This thing obviously came from Indus Valley. This decimal notation, basically it follows from Pattu. So from this you should be able to guess another seal another sign which looks like this. So this must be related to settlement. Okay, so since this means Pattu or Patti, if we try to guess, this means some kind of paddy field around the settlement. So this usually reads as Puram or Pura. Alright, so these are what's called outskirts where paddy fields are kept, etc. Such a place is called Puram. Okay, so this particular sign means Puram. There's a slightly different version of the same symbol, which is also Puram. Again, some kind of grain is marked inside this Pattu symbol. This also reads as Puram. Okay, so these two are very important. One, this is Puram, this is also Puram, and you can see that all these come from guessing this Ur symbol correctly. Once you get the Ur symbol correctly, you can guess that this probably means Pattu or Patti. In fact, your decimal number 10 or Pattu comes from a similar symbol. From that, from all this, you can guess that Puram looks like this, looks like these two symbols. Right. Now, let's look at a very interesting seal. If you look at lesson number 4, this reads as Pura Kati. Let me write it for clarity. So, this one, you have this man carrying a water bucket or whatever, water pot. Then you have this Puram seal. Okay. So, obviously, this reads Pura Kati or Pura Kavidi. Pura Kati means the person who shows moon, or it could also mean some equipment or some construction structure which shows the moon. So later this becomes this started sounding like Paraka Veti, etc. So Purakati means the person or astronomer who shows moon. In fact, I believe this Parakavati name appears in Egypt also. All those pharaohs, or my conjecture is they are nothing but Parakavati. It is probably a common name for all the astronomers, Parakavati. In fact, in Egypt, you'll find these kind of hieroglyphic symbols that go like this. Yeah, this Pa symbol, It symbol, like this. Then you have this Ho, like this. Okay, these are from Egyptian hieroglyphics. My conjecture is this probably means Parakavati. For example, this is well known. This has pa sound. This I believe is a modifier. This sounds like a. You can see this. There is this one Ho or Katti. So if you try to read this, this also reads as Parakavati. Alright, so it's possible that this is a common name across many places in the Middle East, all the way from Egypt to Indus Valley. Parakavati or Parakati are the astronomers who studied the phases of moon. Para means phases of moon. Okay. In fact, you can see various. This one, let me see. Alright, there are a lot of places this probably this name appears, Parakavati. I'm trying to locate it, just a moment. It should be here. Let's where is this? Okay. This is a hieroglyphic seal from Egypt. You can see this easily. Okay, yeah, this pa symbol, this kind of some kind of modifier. This is as it sounds like a. You can see this crow. Crow means ka, and you have this ho, that means vetti. So this also reads as paraka vetti. So My conjecture is Egypt, although I'm not sure whether Egypt is exactly Tamil, it was related to Indus Valley culturally. Okay, probably names like Parakavati became Pharaoh later, right? So a good bet is this particular scene also means Parakavati. Right. In fact, this Parakavati name appears in Egypt and other places also. Let me give another example of this hieroglyphic symbol. Okay, you have this. This is obviously a crescent moon, so you can assume that it's a para. This some kind of modifier. Then you have this kind of symbols. It means what do you call this one axe, all right, or you can say axe or katti. Okay, so if you try to read this, also read parakatti, parakavati, ka vetti, right, or it's called parakati, right. So this particular name parakati, which appears in Indus Valley, it probably appears in other places like Egypt also. For example, this hieroglyphic writing probably means the same thing, Parakavati. This also probably means Parakati. For example, you can see that crescent moon very easily here. Alright, this is some kind of modifier, I believe. And you have this axe or katti. So if you try to read this hieroglyphic symbol, that probably also means this Parakati or astronomer who shows moon, right. So let's look at some more examples. Okay, Parakati is a nice example. Let's look at this one, seal number A1. That is a very interesting seal. In fact, it shows how accurately you can read the seals, right. That is, in this case, even the pronunciation and grammar can be accurately guessed. Let's see this example. It reads Parapakravan, right. Right. You have this on symbol. You have this Korangu or Kora symbol. You have this Pu symbol with a slight modification. Then you have this Puram symbol. Of course, as I told you, this is means Puram or settlement. This one fields or paddy fields outside the settlement. It goes as Puram. This is nothing but Pa or Pu symbol with a added to it. Okay, so it goes as Pa, Pu plus A, Pa, and this goes as Sakura. You know, it's a monkey, right? And the last one, of course, is on. So if you try to read this, it reads very nicely. Pura, Pakura, One. So that means a person who looks like Pura or crescent moon is read as Pura Pakaravan. So this is one example where we can very accurately read the seal. So this is a very good example, Pura Pakaravan. Let's look at another seal, this particular example B19, that can also be understood very accurately. Okay, in fact this reads as Pura Mugam Khan Bhavan. Let's see this. It's a very accurate translation. Let's look at in more detail. Right. First one is Pura sound. Yeah, this Kan symbol. Actually, this Kan symbol is marked with 3 lines inside. If you watch this seal carefully, there are 3 lines marked inside. So it is 3 is moon. So it is Mu plus Kan. So Mugan. This is a symbol for leg. Usually this slash mark indicates leg or call. When you add this line, usually becomes ka or call. Okay, so this usually goes as ka or call. So this is call. This I told you, nil or na. It's a paddy or grain. Okay, this I told you is the symbol for 10. Okay, so usually pattu or pa. and this one is a Vala symbol or Va symbol. So if we try to read this, it reads very accurately. Let's see this. This is Pura. As I told you, there are 3 lines marked inside this Kan symbol. So Pura, Mugang, Ka, leg or Ka, Kan. This is Pattu is Pa. So this reads very accurately. Pura Mugam Kan Bhavan means Pura means moon, Mugam means faces of moon. So the person who studies faces of moon is nothing but Pure Mugam Kan Bhavan. In fact, this is how Muslims got their name. If you try to look at Muslims' name, they're called Muga Matiyar. Right? What is Mugam? Mugam means face. Madi means moon. So people who study phases of moon are known as Mugamadiyar. Of course, such names must have come from this kind of name. Purapakravan means one who studies or looks at moon. Puram Mugam Kanba means the one who looks at phases of moon to figure out the days, etc. To keep time, you need to study the phases of moon. So this is a very accurate translation. These are very good examples of this one, how accurately we can translate these seeds. Okay, let's look at some more example. This also, this one, B13. Since time is limited, I will try to read this quickly. If you try to look at this one, this bird's beak, which is part 2 or Padi. Singing bird means Padi. Padi means Rapadi, Kuruvi, etc. We'll see. So Padi. This I told you is Pu plus hill, Puli. This again, you have the symbol again. Kan with 3 lines marked in it. So it is Mugam, Ka, In. Probably, okay. So if you try to read, this reads as Padi, Puli, Mugam, Kanal. Okay. The last one is probably read as Nil or grain. Okay, so this one reads nicely as Padi Pulimugam Kanal. So that means half moon appearing in Leo's constellation, probably next to this one, star Regulus, was an important event. Probably this reads as Padi Pulimugam Kanal. Or since we are not very sure about the pronunciation grammar, this might have been read this way also, Padi Pulam Kanal. Padi means singing, Pula means poetry. Okay, the person who sings poetry and finds out new ragas or poetry probably reads as Padi Pulam Kanal. Let's look at one more seal. This is a very good one. I'll write it here. This reads Kali Pura Katuvan. Okay, so let's see this. Yeah, this man symbol with on added to it. Then you have this Pura. Then you have this Ho, like this. Right, so you can see that it's a rake. So it is Kalai. Okay. Ho or Ho is Kalai. This is Pura. This one Kaviri or Kati plus on. So it is Katuvan. So this says Kalai Purai Katuvan. That means when moon appears in Taurus constellation, it's a very important event. That is written as Kalipura Kotman. So an astronomer who studies moon appearing between the horns of Taurus is this person, Kalipura Kotman. In fact, you can see this theme appearing in many cultures. For example, let's see this. This is called Apis deity in Egypt. All right, you can clearly see that you have this bull. You can see this full moon appearing between the horns of Kalai or Taurus. Okay, so it's a very important event. In fact, it's a reference point in the sky. Your horns of your Taurus appear directly on the top of Orion constellation. That was taken as a reference point. So this is called Apis deity. If you want to know more detail, Apis in hieroglyphics is written like this. You have this A sound, Pa, and this you have this this one. So this is called Apis god, bull god. Okay. In fact, my conjecture is Egypt may be related to Tamil, and this probably reads A, Pa. This one is you can see a peak or sigaram. Okay, so what is called as Appa sigaram. Okay, full moon is may be considered as Appam. You can see Appam or full circle. It's appearing on the head of the Taurus. So this can be, this hieroglyphic symbol may be considered as Appa sigaram. That probably became Apis in Greek and Egypt later. Let me see this. In fact, this also appears what is called Nevis god. Let's see this. Yeah, let's see this. Okay, this is called Nevis in Egypt. You can see a man, which is probably Orion. Horns of Taurus appear on the top of Orion, so he has got a head, and you can see the full moon appearing on the top of the horns of Taurus horns. Okay, so it's a very important seal. Okay, you can see how everything is related. Kalai or Kalai, Taurus. Purai means moon appearing on the top of Taurus. Katwan means the astronomer who shows this particular event is called Kalai Purai Katwan. Alright, so it's very important. We can look at more seals. There's another one. This also you can try to read. I'll probably skip these things or we'll discuss this in detail in the next lesson. For example, H103 reads as this. Yeah, this Pura. This one probably Kari is a measuring stick. Alright, so the probable phonetic value for this is Kari, we are not very sure, or it could be Kalai or Ho, it could be Ho also, but it's, my guess is most likely is Kari, right? And if you try to read this, it reads as Purai, Kari, Pu, Arivan. You have seen the sickle, Arivan. So that means the person who studies how the phases of moon changes, the astronomer who understands this is called Purai, Kari, Pu, Arivan. Okay, in fact there are a lot of other examples. We'll discuss the other ones later. I'll give you some more example. Let's see this. These are given as homework here. This, if you try to read seal number 89, you have this Pu. This one sounds as Ara. Is probably this one what you call double-sided hacksaw or Aram. So if you try to read this, it reads as Purayan. Okay, so you have these people became outcast Parayans later. The earlier, I'm sure their names were called Pu, Ara, Yan, Purayan. Purayan means one who studies moon. Okay, this one also, if you look at this Pura plus on, probably Pura on, Purayan. Okay, this is another interesting one. You can see the seal here. Let's see this. Maybe I'll discuss this in detail in the next lecture. Okay, this is a good one. Alright, it's very interesting. If you look at this seal, you have this on, you have this duck or swan, which is annam. You have this on again. So if you try to read this, an. So this means Andanan. Okay, Andanan means high caste priest. Okay, of course, Andanan is probably an astronomer. What is interesting is below this, you have this seal Pulayan. Okay. So Pulayan means or Puliyan. Okay, Puliyan appears below Andanan. Alright. Anyway, you should remember this. The top one reads as Andanan. You have Annam or what is called swan or duck, which is Annam. So Andanan. This one reads as Pula plus Yan, Pulayan. So names like Pulayan, Andanan, etc. and Purayan appeared in Indus Valley, that is for sure. Okay, we'll stop this lesson now. We'll look at these examples in more detail.